Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on 10 games in Fanatical's Prestige Collection of September 2024. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the link provided in the description below, not only will you gain access to this bundle, but you also have the opportunity to support this channel. Your support means the world to me, and I genuinely appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have Hi-Fi Rush. In Hi-Fi Rush, you're thrown into a vibrant world where action and rhythm collide to create an electrifying gaming experience. As Chai, a wannabe rock star with a robotic arm powered by music, you embark on a thrilling journey to take down the nefarious Vendale Corporation. The game seamlessly blends beat-em-up combat with rhythm-based mechanics, challenging you to time your attacks to the music's beat for maximum impact. With every strike, Chai strums his guitar, syncing perfectly with the soundtrack that features licensed songs from the Black Keys, 9 Inch Nails, and The Prodigy. Navigating through the game's comic book style world, you'll encounter a variety of enemies and obstacles that keep you on your toes. From platforming challenges to rhythm-based minigames, there is never a dull moment in Hi-Fi Rush. But it's not just the gameplay that shines. The visuals are equally stunning. The world pulsates with life, and the art style perfectly captures the game's energetic vibe. However, occasional camera issues can disrupt the flow, albeit briefly. Despite its minor flaws, Hi-Fi Rush is a gem of an action game, offering an addictive gameplay experience that's both challenging and rewarding. Whether you're a fan of beat-em-ups or rhythm games, this is one title you don't want to miss. So plug in, crank up the volume, and get ready for an adrenaline-fueled adventure unlike any other. And number 2 we have Control Ultimate Edition, a science fiction action game. The game follows the story of Jessie Faden, who discovers she has supernatural abilities and becomes a director of the Federal Bureau of Control, FBC, a secret government agency tasked with investigating paranormal phenomena. One of the most impressive aspects of Control is its gameplay mechanics. The game features a mix of exploration, puzzle solving, and combat, with players able to use a variety of telekinetic powers and firearms to defeat enemies and overcome obstacles. The game's world is also highly interactive, with players able to use their telekinetic powers to move objects and create new paths through the game's environment. The game's story is also impressive, with a mix of science fiction and horror elements. Jessie's journey takes her through a variety of different locations within the FBC's headquarters, known as the Oldest House, each of its own secrets and dangers. The game's use of lore and documents scattered throughout the game world also adds to the story, allowing players to learn more about the game's world and its characters. Control Ultimate Edition includes all of the game's previously released DLC content, including the excellent Alan Wake expansion, which ties the game's story into the broader Remedy Entertainment universe. The Ultimate Edition also includes improved graphics and performance, making it a definitive version of the game. However, the game does have some flaws. The game's difficulty can be uneven at times, with some encounters feeling frustratingly difficult while others are a breeze. The game's story can also be confusing at times, with some plot points feeling underdeveloped or rushed. Control Ultimate Edition is a substantial game, with a main story that can take around 15 to 20 hours to complete. The game's DLC content also adds several hours of additional gameplay, making it a great value for fans of action and science fiction games. In conclusion, Control Ultimate Edition is an excellent science fiction action game that offers a unique and immersive gameplay experience. While the game may have some flaws in its difficulty and story, the game's strengths more than make up for it. If you're a fan of action games or are looking for a unique and immersive world to explore, Control Ultimate Edition is definitely worth checking out. And number 3 we have Dying Light Definitive Edition, a first-person survival horror game that fuses parkour with intense zombie combat. Released in 2015, this edition includes all DLCs and updates, making it the ultimate version of the game. As Kyle Crane, you're sent into a quarantine zone, overrun by the undead, tasked with recovering crucial documents for the global relief effort. However, things quickly spiral out of control when you're bitten and find yourself torn between following orders and helping the city's survivors. The story's pacing can feel tedious at times, and while the voice acting is solid, the plot does not offer anything groundbreaking. Combat is a mix of melee and ranged weapons, with a significant focus on crafting. As you explore the city, you'll gather materials to upgrade your gear and face increasingly deadly enemies. The parkour mechanics are smooth and critical for navigating the environment and avoiding dangerous zombies that roam the streets. Nighttime introduces volatile creatures that crank up the tension, and to the unprepared, it can be deadly. Multiplayer adds more fun, letting you team up with friends or face off against other players in the Be the Zombie mode. This edition also includes expansive DLCs like the following, which introduces new areas, vehicles, and a more satisfying conclusion. Dying Light Definitive Edition is an exciting blend of parkour, combat, and survival. Perfect for fans of open-world games looking for hours of zombie-slaying fun. And number 4 we have ANNO, Mutationem, a cyberpunk beat-em-up game that offers a visually stunning world but falls short in terms of its script. The game features a protagonist named Anne Flores, who navigates the futuristic Scop City, filled with influences from Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell. The city's districts are vibrant and detailed, providing a lively backdrop despite the grim setting. Exploring the city is enjoyable, with hidden secrets and random conversations to discover. Combat in ANNO Mutationem is responsive and well-paced, reminiscent of old-school Mega Man games. Engaging in battles against thugs, robots, and mutants is satisfying, with challenging bosses and lieutenants to defeat. The combat mechanics involve wearing down enemy shields with heavy attacks to unleash powerful finishers, adding tactical depth to the fights. However, the game relies too heavily on encounters with infinitely respawning minions, which can become tedious. Character progression is tied to 2 skill trees, allowing players to improve base stats and unlock new moves by defeating story bosses and normal enemies. The game strikes a good balance, preventing players from becoming overpowered, while providing enough tools for tougher encounters. The main story primarily takes place in dungeon crawls, creating a sense of isolation and mystery. However, the story's connection and motivation feels weak, and the game focuses more on the places visited rather than the reasons behind them. ANNO Mutationem boasts a colorful cast of characters, but their execution is a mixed bag. Voice acting, although limited, is well done, particularly with the confident and driven protagonist Anne. However, the dialogue writing falls short, often feeling rushed and lack naturalism. The game introduces numerous characters in one-off cutscenes, making it difficult to understand their significance until later in the 20-hour story. The plot becomes overly intricate, leaving many characters underdeveloped and underutilized. Anne's best friend, Ayane, a bubbly holographic sidekick, provides a stark contrast to Anne's stoicism, but can sometimes come across as overwhelming. In conclusion, ANNO Mutationem offers a visually impressive cyberpunk world and satisfying combat mechanics. However, the game's script and character development could have been stronger, hindering the overall experience. And number 5 we have Nightmare, the Lunatic, a 2D roguelike platformer that drops you into a nightmarish dreamscape, testing your reflexes and combat skills. You'll face a barrage of challenging enemies and bosses, all while mastering the art of weapon swapping and parrying to survive. In Nightmare the Lunatic, you're tasked with escaping a nightmare by defeating powerful enemies that stand in your way. Combat centers around fast, fluid mechanics, where you constantly switch between 3 weapons, each with unique abilities and synergies. Parrying and dodging are critical to your success, and the more you play, the better you'll get at reading enemy movements and countering their attacks. The game's progression system revolves around collecting totems, which provide various upgrades to help you on your journey. Dying is part of the experience, but each run offers new chances to unlock weapons and discover different strategies. While the parry system is rewarding for those who master it, it may frustrate players looking for a more straightforward experience. The platforming and combat are crisp and responsive, with challenging multi-phase boss fights that will push your skills to the limit. Some may find the initial difficulty daunting, but if you stick with it, the game's depth shines through. For fans of action-packed roguelites, like Dead Cells or Skull the Hero Slayer, this is a must-play. The adrenaline-fueled gameplay keeps you coming back for more as you strive to break free from the nightmare. At number 6 we have Assetto Corsa, Competizione, a racing simulation game that blurs the line between sim racing and real motorsport. This game offers an immersive experience that serves as an entry point for building race drivers and a training tool for those who are already on the track. The game's official release showcases its growth from its early access phase, thanks to its established community from Assetto Corsa. The Blancpain GT Series Endurance Cup license lends value to the game, providing a single-player structure that was previously lacking in the franchise. The game's authenticity is evident in the meticulous physics and behavior of the track-spec cars from brands like Mercedes, Audi, Ferrari, and more. Racing is challenging, overtaking is difficult, and mistakes have consequences. The AI offers a stiff challenge, but it lacks the depth of reactive decision-making found in Codemaster's F1 series. The endurance nature of the Blancpain series brings an element of strategy, where consistent lap timings and personal concentration levels matter more than single aggressive moves. Career mode is thoughtfully constructed, offering video introductions from champion Mirko Bortolotti and a driving school component that adds depth to the gameplay. The handling of the cars is a standout feature, providing a satisfying weight and response that enhances the racing experience. However, a wheel is essential for optimal control. Assetto Corsa Competizione lays a strong foundation for long-term sim racing, with its polished gameplay, single-player structure, and community engagement. As the line between simulation and reality continues to blur, this game provides an ideal platform for both aspiring racers and dedicated sim racing enthusiasts. At number 7 we have Killer Frequency. In the sleepy midwestern town of Gallows Creek, a killer is on the loose, and you, as radio DJ Forrest Nash, are locked in a studio tighter than Pandora's box. Team 17's Killer Frequency, a puzzle horror title with heavy story elements, keeps the balance so as not to overload the mix and simply broadcast clipping noise. With only 4 faders to the mixer, you control the tape machine, a board of sound effects, a record player, and a master volume, including incoming calls. Early on, balancing is not an issue, which might be to compensate for potentially clunky console controls. You attempt to save Gallows Creek's residents with magazines, maps, and more, while the cops retreat for backup. Between the talk show elements of 189.16 The Scream, you take musical intervals to explore the station, uncover details to help wary listeners, and discover more records. The exploration can take as long as you need, with each track looping and blending into the background. The story of the returning killer in Gallows Creek takes precedence, and the simplifications make sense, given the constraints of voice acting and other elements. Sometimes you might appreciate the extra time to make decisions or explore. The game's difficulty does not stem from the setting's traps, but from ensuring you don't miss crucial details. Killer Frequency walks the fine line between hokey, funny, and horror focus. Nash's character, a hotshot fallen from grace radio man from Chicago, now deals with a sinister killer and a small-town radio station. Despite some campy dialogue, the game manages to maintain the severity of the murderer without turning it into a farce. The puzzles are not overly challenging, often requiring you to listen closely and pay attention to the details in front of you. For example, navigating the maze involves following simple landmarks on a map. With no real penalty for dead air, you can ensure that Eugene is not dead on air either. The game's setting in 1987 allows for some colorful language from callers, which might be surprising given the period's norms. Despite slower pace, Killer Frequency offers an enjoyable experience if you're patient and appreciate a blend of audio drama and light puzzle solving. Ultimately, Killer Frequency provides enough thrills, puzzles, and chills to keep you engaged, even if you might long for the ability to move faster around the station. At number 8 we have Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. A game that brings back the iconic Lee brothers, Billy and Jimmy, in a fusion of classic beat-em-up action with a healthy dose of the roguelike genre. While this title may not be as narrative-heavy as some other recent titles in the genre, it excels in delivering a fast-paced, satisfying arcade experience. The combat in Rise of the Dragons is notably faster and more intricate compared to previous titles in the series. The controls are responsive, making it a joy to take on hordes of enemies. The addition of multiplayer and tag moves enhances the gameplay, but it's a shame that the multiplayer is limited to local play. What sets Rise of the Dragons apart is its focus on building a cash pot as you play. Defeating foes with special attacks or weapons yields more money, and this ties into the roguelike progression system. You use money to purchase permanent power-ups for your character, adding an exciting layer of strategy and replayability to the game. The game offers customizable difficulty settings, allowing you to tailor your experience. The chibi art style may be a departure from traditional Double Dragon visuals, but it works well and exudes charm. The soundtrack, featuring iconic tunes from previous titles, adds to the overall nostalgia. Despite some potential drawbacks with multiplayer being only local multiplayer, Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons is a fantastic addition to the series. It may not feel like a traditional Double Dragon game, but its addictive gameplay and roguelike elements make it a must-play for fans of the beat-em-up genre. Here's hoping it paves way for more dragon-filled adventures in the future. At number 9 we have A Guidebook of Babel, a narrative-driven puzzle adventure that plunges you into a world where the butterfly effect reigns supreme. Launched in August 2023, this indie gem has garnered widespread acclaim for its captivating storytelling, intricate puzzles, and richly imaginative setting. Your journey commences aboard the Babel, a mysterious vessel ferrying souls to the afterlife. Here, memories fuel the journey, and the enigmatic crew aids passengers in navigating their final voyage. The game's premise, blending themes of death, memory, and rebirth with humor and whimsy, resonates deeply. Armed with a special pen, you can rewrite the past, a pivotal aspect of the gameplay that invites exploration of different timelines and their repercussions. Ingeniously crafted puzzles demand innovative thinking and attention to detail to alter events and outcomes. The narrative weaves multiple storylines, each adding layers of emotion and depth, from a pilot battling a monsoon to a clown in search of his daughter. Visually stunning, the game's retro cartoon aesthetics evoke an enchanting yet slightly eerie ambiance. Critics laud its mature gameplay and seamless integration of storytelling and puzzles, earning it high praise and accolades. Player experiences vary, with some reveling in the intricate puzzles and others praising its handling of weighty themes. Challenges notwithstanding, A Guidebook of Babel offers a masterful blend of storytelling, puzzle solving, and time manipulation. A must-play for fans of narrative-driven adventures and intricate puzzles. Step aboard the Babel, secure your ticket, and embark on a whimsical yet profound journey. At number 10 we have Thymesia, a Souls-like game that sets itself apart by drawing inspiration from Bloodborne rather than Dark Souls. Despite its innovative ideas and unique approach, it falls short of achieving the status of its genre predecessors. In Thymesia, you step into the shoes of Corvus, an alchemist warrior with a plague doctor's aesthetic. The game's story revolves around a kingdom plagued by a mysterious disease, but it's poorly told and disjointed, relying heavily on flavor text for world building. This narrative weakness is a recurring frustration throughout the game. Combat in Thymesia combines elements of Bloodborne and Sekiro, offering agility and a variety of weapons. Corvus uses a saber, dagger, and a plague claw to dispatch enemies with white and green health bars. The combat system is unique, allowing for combo attacks and the acquisition of plague weapons from foes. While the combat system appears exceptional on paper, it suffers from issues in practice. Corvus can get locked into attack animations, leaving him vulnerable to enemy counterattacks. Additionally, some boss fights feature frustrating tracking and hitbox problems. Thymesia's world is atmospheric and detailed, but it lacks the grandeur of its genre counterparts. The game shines in moments like epic boss battles, but falls short in delivering a compelling narrative and diverse environments. In summary, Thymesia is a visually appealing Souls-like game with solid character progression and an engaging combat when it works smoothly. However, it is marred by inconsistent combat design, a lack of narrative clarity, and uninspired enemy design. Despite its flaws, it offers a unique experience within the Souls-like genre, and will appeal to fans seeking a fresh take on the formula. And that's all for this bundle. The Prestige Collection offers a mixed experience. Hi-Fi Rush is the standout, coming in at a great price, but some regions miss out on key titles like Control and Dying Light, while the bundle's value shines in specific areas. Regulars may find better deals elsewhere or wait for cheaper options. Overall, it feels like a hit or miss, depending on location and personal preferences. If you're targeting one or two games, it could be worth it. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.